This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone. Today we will be seeing the Azure storage accounts. Okay. So to start with, we'll stick to basics. Okay. When we discussed about these virtual machines, right? When we created, right? We had one concept now. Like first you will be having something like a region. In the region, you will be having some availability zone. We will be having 3 availability zones. AZ-1, AZ-3. And here you used to configure the virtual machines. Okay. In the same way, when you go to storage also, you will be having one like when whatever you store, okay, whatever you store, that will be following the same pattern. You will be having regions, in that you will be having availability zones, in that availability zones you will be having something like a storage accounts. Okay, so this is the pattern we follow. Now we'll go to the slides. So you will basically learn what is like storage account, what is blob storage, and you will discuss. We'll discuss about or something like storage security. Okay. If we have time, right, we will be discussing about this Active Directory, and we will be having something like firewalls. Okay. To start with, right, we will see like what is storage account. Okay. Storage account is something like which is durable and highly available. Okay, and it is secured and scalable, and it is managed and accessible. So basically storage account, if I want to see, right, I will go to this file. Okay, basically here if I come here, right, basically I will create one storage account. This is called something like a storage account. Okay, and I can create one storage account for one project. Okay, if some insurance account is there, and I can create one storage account. Okay, and there is one more thing called like some project 2. Okay, in this project 2 I will be creating one more storage account. Okay, so what this storage account will have, right, it can store something like blobs. We'll call it as a blobs basically. So it is a blob storage. In blobs, the data will be stored in something like a container. Okay, and there will be something like files, and there will be something like queues and tables. So in one storage account, I can accommodate, I can store blobs, files, queues and tables. Okay, so we'll discuss like what is each. If I go here, right, what blob will store? Basically, whenever you have some backups, okay, now you want to store your database backups, or if you want to store some images, okay, those things are like VM backups. Those things will be stored in blobs. Basically, you can store like you are running some locally, right? You will be having some Git repository, or you may be having something like uh, some you had Netflix. Okay, you have Netflix and Prime. Underlined infrastructure, you can use the blob service. So if I'm developing one app, okay, some OTT app, in backend I can use this blob service as the backend, and through code I can connect my front end to this application and the blob service. Okay, and I can access the video that is present here. Okay, you can use it, can store like it is like highly scalable. Okay, it can store large amounts of data. Okay, and you can store files also, but I will tell what is the difference in later point of time. Basically, if you are having some Git repository, or if you are having some torrents, or if you are having some, if you want to develop your own stuff, Okay, if you are to develop your own OTT app in cloud, so you can use this Azure Blob Service. Or you have some Maven repository in some companies, right? They want to go for the like like available Maven repository which is present in Google. Their company, each company will have their own repositories, right, for Maven. So you can use this blob service over there. If you are having some Git repository, if you want to store something, the backend, you can use the blob service. And you will have something like a file service. File service is something like you will store the files. Normally you will have shared drives, no, where you will be copying the files and you will be accessing the same, right? So this service will be used to share the files, whereas this will be used to share the images, videos, or Git repository or something like that. Got it? And there will be something like queues. Okay, this is a messaging store. Let us assume like there is a component, okay, and this is B component. Okay, this is some A component and B component. And whenever you send a request from here, no, if there are like one request, no, it will be easily sent and the receiver can receive. Okay, but you are having some n number of messages. Okay, if you see some telecom provider, what they will do, you will send one message. Sometimes it will be sent instantly, but sometimes it will take some time. It will be reaching the receiver after 5 minutes or some 10 minutes, right? Why? Because you will be having a messaging queue which will process or hold the request. Okay, so the Azure queues can be used for those purposes. You can embed your if you have some queuing, it supports some queuing technology between the applications, so you can use this Azure queues for this purpose. And there is something like Azure tables, so it is nothing but a NoSQL database. Okay, so if you are, it will be having something like a table. Okay, it will be having some table and it will be having some rows. Okay, basically you will be injecting the data. It is something like a database itself. Okay, in one storage account. Okay, it supports these many. It supports containers or blob services. Actually, basically it will have blob service in which you will store the data in the containers, and it supports files, and it supports queues, and it supports tables. So if I have one project A, for these needs, I can map one service account, and in one service account, I can do these many. Hope it's clear. Now you go. Now you might have got like what is the storage account and what it stores. Then we will go back to our slides. Okay, this is something like it is. Okay, I will go back to here. Okay, in blob service, right, you will be having, as I mentioned, you will be having something like Azure containers. Okay, these Azure containers, okay, you can access the data via HTTP and HTTPS. Okay, means like using some like REST APIs or something, right? You can process your request. You can get the request over here. Okay, and files can't be accessed via HTTP. Okay, so files, how you will access, how you will have shared drive in Office. If you have one shared drive, no, they will give some link to you, right? They will be, it runs on SMB 3.0 protocol. Okay, so basically they will give you a shared drive. What you will do, you will in run, you will copy paste that shared drive, and whenever you click the shared drive, right, you will be able to access the files. Here also it is same, but here what you will do, right, automatically what you can do, right, here I am having my some storage in cloud. Okay, here I am having one service account under which I am created some Azure files, one directory I have created, and I am having some innumerous number of files. What I can do, right, here I am having my local laptop. Okay, so there will be some set of commands which you have to run, which will enable like you will be having some A, B, C, D drive, right? Like that, it will create an X drive, Y drive, Z drive, something like that. Okay, and it will map this cloud repository, like this Amazon file storage, to this directory, this drive. So whenever you click right, you will be able to see the files that are present in that. If you have the internet connectivity in C drive or D drive, whenever you give a double click, no, like in office, you will have you will map your drive to one drive, right? Either E, D, F. Like that also you can do. That is the beauty of this file service. You no need to log in, or you don't need to use some console to get the files. Just map the drive, whatever is there, and it will be accessible. Okay, and this is basically for Amazon queues. This in this Amazon queues, what will happen, right? If A application wants to talk to B, basically what they will do, right? They will transfer the data via HTTP, HTTPS, and each message, right? It can store the message of some 64 KB size. And this is simple, like Azure Tables is nothing but a SQL database where you can get or access the data from via HTTP and HTTPS, and it will store the data in the NoSQL databases. Now we will go to the lab. Okay, now I have logged into the Azure portal. In Azure portal, I can give something like storage accounts. If I give something like storage accounts, right, then I will be presented with this screen. Okay, actually there is one storage account that already exists. So if I want to create a storage account, right, what I can do, right, I can click on create. As I mentioned, every resource will be tagged to subscription as well as the resource group. Same here also. Okay, so I will be selecting the subscription. For you, it may be with free trial or something, and I want to create some new resource group. I can create a resource group like storage resource. Okay, I'm creating a new storage resource, and here I am giving the account name. Basically what will happen, right, this name should be unique. Okay, so I will give something like, okay, if it is a redundant name, right, it will throw an error. Now we have to select the region. In EC2 sorry, in that VM, whenever you create also, you will be selecting the same, no? Here also I have to select the region. So here there are like two types of there is something like a performance. Okay, whenever you create a storage account, right, there will be like two options that will be available for you. One is like general purpose and one is premium. Basically the general purpose will support all the stuff, means it will support Azure containers, Azure files, Azure queues, and Azure tables. Whenever you go to the premium, right, there is a limitation. Basically it will support only three, means it will support blobs, file shares, and there will be something like page blobs. Okay, but it doesn't support something like queues as well as the SQL DB. Okay, this is the categorization they have created. For most of the stuff you can use, for most of the needs, right, this should be sufficient. Whereas if you want only low latency, right, then you can go with premium. else standard should be fine. Okay, there will be something like redundancy. Okay, redundancy, if I want to explain this, yeah, basically Azure will support something like four replication features. One is like local redundant storage, second is zone redundant storage, geographical redundant storage, read access geo redundant storage. Basically we will call it as LRS, ZRS, GRS and RA GRS. So we'll discuss what is this one. So what is like LRS? Local redundant storage is something like, now if I have a one blob, if I upload any blob, okay, if I upload any file over here, okay, if I upload any file over here, right, what will happen actually, right, once the data is stored, it will be replicated across, you will have basically three copies. Okay, what will happen, right, the data will be stored in three copies, means stored as three copies in that particular region, okay, in one availability zone. Basically what will happen, right, here in one availability zone the data will be stored in the same data center, three copies. The problem with that LRS is, if that data center is like data center had a failure or it has any interruption in service, right, you won't be able to access the data. Okay, blobs in LRS, the data will be stored in the single data center, but you will be having something like three copies. So like if there will be three machines, okay, there is machine 1, machine 2 and machine 3. By any chance if this machine got power failure or it got some issue, right, then you will be having other two copies in the same data center, that is LRS. And next one is ZRS. ZRS stands for the zone redundant storage. In earlier, right, in the same availability zone the data is being stored as three copies. When you go to ZRS, what will happen, right, in that particular region, you know that already there will be three availability zones that will be present. Basically the data gets replicated between the three availability zones. Let us assume this availability zone data center completely is lost, okay, then you will be having some two copies of data which is accessible for you. Let us and one more copy, one more data center is also gone, okay, then you will be having one availability zone which will process your request and get you the data. The key difference between the LRS and ZRS is, in LRS the data will be stored as three copies in same data center, whereas in this ZRS, right, the data gets stored in the three data centers. That is the key difference. Even if the data center, two of the data centers are or like has an interruption, you will be able to access the data. Okay, and the third one is GRS, geographically redundant storage. Basically here, right, in prior case you are having some zone specific. Okay, now the problem with this is, if the zone itself is completely gone, none of the services, like you are unable to access the services from this complete zone itself, it will be a problem. So then they had Microsoft has designed something like GRS. What will happen, right, here you will be having some two regions which will be supporting the storage. Means you are, whenever you create a data, right, what will happen, right, the data gets replicated across multiple zones itself. Okay, so here you will be having region 1 and here you will be having some region 2. In this region in our prior cases, right, we have 3 copies being stored, in the same way here also you will be having some 3 copies. Here also you will be having some 3 copies. Totally you will be having 6 copies of the same data. In the worst case, if complete this zone has an outage and you have 2 data centers or like 2 availability zones being affected, then you will be having 1 copy, okay, in one availability zone, which will be which helps to access your data. So as a solution architect, right, you have to decide so which one you have to use for your projects. So when the Azure sells some product, no, they will be having n features, but based on our need, based on the data criticality, you have to select your own model. And the last one is the RAGRS. Basically, right, here, right, can you go on mute, please? Yeah, basically, right, these updations and deletions will happen across like multiple regions. Like if it is like high TPS or something, now you will go with this one. Okay, now what you can do, right, we can go back to lab. So this is the redundancy. Just here, as I mentioned, you are having these many options. So you'll be having something like geo zone redundancy, okay, zone redundancy, LRS, okay, you can see GRS, ZRS, okay, something like that, okay, and you'll have by default it is LRS, okay, and I'm clicking on the next. Okay, there are like multiple options for now, right? I'm selecting on the next. Okay, we'll discuss about this one. Basically, enable soft delete for blobs is something like if we enable this option, what will happen, right? Accidentally if you delete this account, okay, you can basically it will be there in the backups for 7 days. Okay, within 7 days you can restore. If you are having some hundreds of 50 or 60 survey seconds, no, by any chance if you delete, no, there is a mechanism to delete the blobs. Either it can be blob service, or it can be a container service, or it can be a file service, and everything has its own time period, 7 days by default. You can change this as well. Means in the service account, if you delete by accidentally this blobs directory or something, no, then there is a possibility to restore. By default it is enabled 7. Okay, these are the tags, and I'm creating the storage account. Okay, it will take some time. Now once the service accounts get created, right, you will be able to see these 4 options. So either it is like Azure blobs, containers, like files, queues, and tables. Okay, still the deployment is going on. Now when I go here, right, if you see, if I scroll down, you are able to see, no, you are able to see file service, queue service, blob service, and table service. So basically the account whatever I have created, no, it supports blob, file, queue, and table. Even here also you can see in the data storage, you can see these 4 options. Containers are nothing but the place where you store your blobs. Okay, so first we will discuss about the containers. Now one second, I will go to from first. So this is a storage account. Okay, here this is a service account. Okay, now it is present in US East region. Now I'm clicking on the storage account. Now I'm clicking on the containers. Okay, now I can create a container. I can create something like container 1. Okay, here you will be having 3 permissions. Okay, no anonymous access for blob only, and container. Basically, if I put it as private, what will happen, right? No one will be able to access the data that is present in this particular container. Okay, no one can access. If I put the permission access level as blob, what will happen, right? You can read this from your browser. Okay, you can access the data globally. Okay, and there is one more thing called as a container. Like, if you want to do a programmatic access, if you want to like connect to this blob via some program, okay, then you can use this container access, which you can do programmatically to connect. Okay, for now I am taking the private. Okay, I should not access this. Now my container is created. Okay, now I'm going to a container. It is something like a folder. Okay, here I have an option. Okay, if you see here, now I'm having some multiple options, under which if I click on upload, right, I can select the file and I can upload. I will create a text file. Okay, I have entered some text. Now I want to browse. In this desktop, right, I am selecting this file. Okay, I have selected the file and I have clicked on upload. Now my file has been uploaded here. Actually, you can upload multiple files also. You can select multiple files also. That option is also there. Okay, or you can upload a single file at one go. So I have uploaded some files over here. If I click on this file now, I have to click on this one such that I can access this one. Okay, I can get a full view. Here I am having something like download. If I want to download the file, I can click on download. Okay, my file will be, I'm able to download my file. Okay, and there is one option called as like edit. If I click on edit now, I can directly do the modifications on the fly. I don't need to download and modify and upload. On the fly, you can e- edit the data. Okay, now what I will do, right, this is my file 1. I will change it is as line 2 and click on save. Now I will close it. I will click on the file and I will download the file again. Okay, I will be clicking on download here. Now my file got downloaded. If I see, right, I am having the next version. Means there will be some limit basically. So you can't take some file which is like some with some good storage, okay, with some good size, but minor files like 20 like 1 MB or more than 1 MB can be accessible, and you can use this edit option to like edit the files on the fly. Okay, I will click on edit one more time. Okay, now this is a text file basically. Now there are some instances where you can use this blob storage for storing your code or something. Okay, if I click this drop down, here it supports multiple programming languages. So if I select XML, See, okay, see, it is providing that corrections as well, right? So here you have an option to select, like if you want to, but it is a rare case you will modify here. But here you have provision to select different languages. It can be like C, CPP, or like Go, HTML, JavaScript. So Python. So it is something like an editor also. Okay, program editor. I'm not going to save this. Just I will discard it and I will close. Just I want to show this XML and that option for you. Okay, and yeah, actually when I clicked download, no, what happened, right? The file got downloaded automatically and I was able to view the content. But there is something like a URL over here. Okay, what I will do, right? I will copy paste over here. See what is happening? I am getting some error message saying like resource not found. Why we are getting that error, right? Because whenever I created this service account, no, I have chosen something like access level. For while I am creating this container, no, I have chosen this option, private option. In private option, I won't be able to access. If I put as a second option, okay, read access for blobs only, okay, then if I click on save, okay, now the change is effective. If I do a refresh, I will be able to access. Basically, this change access level will be used to restrict the access for that particular directory or the container, whatever you create. And there is one option called as like upload. Here, there is no option to create a directory. Means if I want to store my data, something like this, I want to structure the data, something like this. Project one, okay. So if I want to organize the data, something like this, okay, I won't have option. Actually, there will be a different type of service account where you will be having one option to create a directory. For now, we won't have with the service account which you have created. Okay, so the remedy is I have to click on upload under advanced, no. Uh, okay, whenever if I want to upload the same file again to some different directory, I have to select the file here. Okay, I'm selecting the same file. Okay, now here, no, I want to upload it to the folder here. Okay, it is something like it is project one. Okay, now what I'm doing, I am uploading this file into this directory. There is no option for you to create a directory in the blob service, whereas in files you will be having, you can directly create multiple directories and a hierarchy. But here just you have to use this upload to folder option. Okay, and click on upload. Now you see the project one got deleted automatically, and in that I am having the file one. This is how you have to make use of this blob service. Okay, like that's it. Actually, like we have limited time. We have only some 10 minutes. Maybe like Monday I will be covering these files. I'll be covering the files and tables on Monday. Not sure I can cover these queues. It would be a theory.